everything you need to ace English language art in one big fat notebook. English language art. Chapter 16. Authorship and narration. What's an author? An author is the person who wrote a book, article, poem, or other work. Author background and perspective. Every author has a different biographical background. An author's biographical background is his or her life story and experiences. It included culture, historical period, or when the author was alive, location, personal experience, culture, the attitude, knowledge, custom, beliefs, and objects that belong to a specific group of people. Depending on the time, place, and culture an author lived in, his or her point of view can be very different from another author. The author's biographical background can affect his or her perspective or the way an author sees the world and the way he or she writes. Once we understand an author's background, we can put his or her writing in that context. Once we understand who the author is, we can understand more about why he or she wrote the piece of the first place. Example, there were two countries, blue and red. The country of blue invaded the country of red and won a huge victory. A poet grew up in the country of blue. What might his poem about the country of blue be like? If a playwright grew up in the country of red, what might a play is like if she wrote about the country of blue? The reader can analyze whether an author's biographical background affects his or her perspective in simple or more complex ways. Homer, the ancient Greek poet, couldn't write about cell phone because he lived in a time before they were invented. But sometimes the way an author's biographical background affects his or her perspective is more complex. Jane Austen was the us at the time and the place when women weren't allowed to hold many jobs. She couldn't write about a woman who was a doctor or a lawyer or a politician because there weren't any during the time when she lived. Which is why science fiction authors are so creative. They often imagine the future very different from our lives, which is really hard to do. Author versus narrator. A narrator is the creator who relates the events of a story. It's not the same thing as an author. The narrator is a character that an author created. The narrator can be similar to or different from the author. In fiction text, the narrator is a fictional creation of the us, just like any other character in the story. Example, there are a lot of differences between the character of Huckleberry, who narrates the adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and the book's author Mark Twain. Narrator, Huckleberry, a fictional person, is an orphan, is a kid, can't write standard English, live on the Mississippi. Also, Mark Twain, a real person, is not an orphan, is a grown man, makes a living writing standard English, lives in Connecticut. Differences between the author and narrator is the first step toward understanding more about fiction. Is the narrator reliable, meaning he or she always tells the truth and everything that he or she knows? Or is she or she an unreliable narrator, someone who sometimes hides the truth? Similar to understanding who the author is once you understand who the narrator is. You can understand more about the character and what the author is trying to achieve by using this narrator. Read this passage from the beginning of Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Then name the author and the narrator. Call me Ismail. Some years ago, never mind how long precisely, having little or no money in my purse, and nothing particular to interest me on shore. I thought I would sail about a little and see the worldly part of the world.